Welcome to another edition of Uncensored on Unlimited. I am your host, Walter Main from Unlimited. And I'm here today to talk about the current state of the video game industry and how, in many people's opinions and including mine, it's going in a direction that a lot of us don't like. And it's been going in this direction for a long time. And it could get to a point where maybe it won't go back, maybe it won't get better. And it's our fault. Because we buy into the hype, the pre-release hype. That's going to be a big nailing point of all this. Pre-release hype. Pre-release culture, pre-order culture, DLC culture, day one edition culture. And there are several things you can blame for this. Mainly the consumer, the developers, and GameStop. GameStop is ruining video games, and they may have already done that to a point where it's from the point of no return. Because you didn't hear about pre-orders before GameStop. You didn't hear about pre-order bonuses especially before GameStop. You didn't hear about day one editions before GameStop. Because the day one edition, let me explain to you what that is. The day one edition is a game where it's bundled with DLC that is released when you pre-order it. So if you don't buy in to the hype and don't let other people's opinions and let gameplay footage from the finished product, if you don't ignore all that and just go, oh, the hype, buying in, getting it, then you miss parts of the games. Sometimes entire missions of games or entire game modes. It's ridiculous. The things they hide behind pre-release and DLC. The video game industry has gone from, here's this full game, and then maybe down the line we'll release some expansion packs that are like whole new games that add on to your experience. And all this to, here's the base game, DLC patch 1, DLC patch 2, weapons pack, story pack, all this. Where did we go wrong? When did this start happening? Now, I can't pinpoint a start, but it needs to stop. It needs to stop because you have games that have disc-locked DLC. Now, that's nothing new. That's been around for years and years. It's one of the biggest problems in the video game industry. But just think about that. They want you to pay to fully unlock the data on a disc. Well, that's not right. Because why? Why? When it's already on the disc, it already exists. Should we have to pay for it? Now, if it's some add-on, some big, second campaign, go for it. That's worth paying for. What's not worth paying for are extra characters and extra skins that are already on the disc, but are locked. And that's another one of the biggest problems with current video game culture. And it all leads back to the consumers being willing to pay for it, the developers being all money hungry and grabbing for it, and GameStop being the store to start it all. You have games like Call of Duty that throw the most absurd DLCs, and people eat them up. You have, even the Elder Scrolls is guilty of it. They had a horse skin pack that people bought. Now, it's absurd. The concept of how far DLC has gone is absolutely absurd, and it needs to stop. Because if it doesn't, then what's next? You get half the game, and then the other half of the game is DLC. It's already close to that. How about the game? Don't remember which one. But you had to buy DLC to get the last few missions to get the actual ending. You had to pay to see the end of the story to the game. Now, what's the logic behind that? What do video game developers take us for? They take us for suckers because we have been showing that a large majority of us are suckers. It's to the point where they can get away with it because they know the majority of us will buy it. Microtransactions are the biggest garbage thing in video games, yet there are games that are based around the concept of microtransactions, and they make all their money off of microtransactions. Now, can we make this stop? Can we even do anything about this? Because the culture of pay for the full experience, or pay to download the hardest difficulty, is that too ingrained in video game culture anymore to have it be different? Is it too ingrained in the majority of gamers and game developers to have it change? Is the concept of the season pass costing as much as the game something we're going to have to get used to? I really hope it isn't, because this is taking a medium that I legitimately love and it's turning it into nothing but a cash grab that people put out half-assed efforts on that hype everything up. No Man's Sky, Destiny. Incomplete games released, hyped, and ultimately disappointed. And it's a cycle. It's like we don't even learn. All these game developers and these game designers making these luxurious, ridiculous promises and never following through on them. Yet we buy into it hook, line, and sinker every single time. And it has to change, or else the video game industry as we know it is going to become more and more bastardized than it already is. And only we can stop it. Only we can stop pre-ordering games. Only we can stop GameStop and their horrendous business practices of throwing it at you to buy used games so they don't have to pay the developers money for selling their products. Only we can stop that. And I'm begging you. Let's stop it. Let's not buy season passes. Let's not buy useless DLC. Let's not pre-order all the games. Let's not buy games at GameStop. And maybe, just maybe then, we can actually help improve the video game industry and take it out of the direction that it's been going in. Thank you for watching. I'm Walter from Unlimited. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Unlimited1. Like the Unlimited Facebook page on Facebook. And until then, I will talk to you next time.